lot of people were giving voice to in, say, October, 3-4 games into Texas A&M season. They were saying, this kid's a great college quarterback. We don't know if this translates. And he just kept putting up numbers, playing the same way, and everybody bailed. Well, Jaws didn't bail. I mean, Jaws stuck to his position, and everybody else has just turned over as if Johnny Football has shown them something else, a new style that suggests he's NFL ready. No, I'm for listening to Jaws until we see something else.
Want to go in the film vault with him and go over the tapes?
I'd like that. A couple of games.
I love Jaws. I sat with Jaws for years, and I heard Jaws talk about ball security and accuracy, which is the most important thing he always said about a quarterback. And I suspect he knows almost everything there is to know about being a quarterback, and I hope to God he's wrong. Because I love watching Johnny Manziel, and I want him to succeed in the pros. And I'll tell you why I would draft him #1 overall if I had a lousy team. 2 reasons. One reason is going to put fannies in the seats.
Not long. They already got fannies in the seats.
No, he's going to put more fannies in the seats.
In what seats? Jacksonville?
Even if, certainly. You know what? They can take the tarp off those seats in Jacksonville at this point.
I said Jacksonville.
Here's the deal. If he stinks, you get the #1 pick again. You're going to know right away if it doesn't work because you're a lousy team.
#1 pick in
Why not?
the NFL?
A lot of you know what? A lot of people have thought they haven't wasted a #1 pick, and guess what?
Yeah, I don't know that I want to go that route. I would try to really discern. And look, people have to be hypercritical when you're going to spend the #1 pick.
Okay.
There are defensive players out there, Jadeveon Clowney, that Houston could also lose who might be less risky. I'm just saying.
That's right.
I want to hear.
Oh, no.
I'm glad Jaws is saying this and not just climbing on board the bandwagon.
We all understand the risks. He's not the biggest guy in the world, and he holds the ball out here. And they're very, very fast in the NFL. But I hope he succeeds because he's tremendously exciting.
I do too, but you are so vested in Johnny Manziel.
Because you hate him.
Listen up to Jaws sometimes.
Sounds like you hate him.
Tony, there's a story on ESPN.com that the NBA looked at the possibility of expanding the basketball court and making some deep shots worth 4 points. The NBA says there was never any serious conversation about increasing the floor size or further rewarding the long ball. The Rod Thorne and Kiki Vanderway were simply entertaining out-of-the-box ideas presented by our colleagues at .com. Tone, are these things that should be considered?
No and no. We've been playing basketball on the same size court for about 100 years.
Yeah.
The court works very well. The players are a little bit bigger now than they were 40 years ago. But they're not that much bigger. They weigh a little bit more. They don't weigh that much more. The court, there's enough room for all of the people on the court. And in terms of a 4-point shot, a 4-point shot, so like, what, at half court? You heave one up, you down 3 with no time to go?
Yeah, that shot we just saw.
No.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
No. No. I will say this. If I was going to, the 4-point shot, no. Don't tell me you've worked to build a 4-point lead late in the game by hitting free throws and playing great defense, and then some dope throws it up.
That's right.
And it goes in like a mascot, and now the game is tied in overtime. No, that's garbage. I will say this on behalf of a bigger court. It might change the game and give more space so that big guys in the post, if there are any left that have post skills, could operate without being double-teamed because you take 3-point shooters out a little further. So if you went 1 foot, if you went a foot in each direction, I'd be okay with that.
3 points. Our good friend Bob Ryan thinks the 3-point shot has completely ruined the game to begin with.
I know.
Why not? I'll tell you what. Why not next week somebody comes up with an idea? Let's move the foul line in 8 feet so that Dwight Howard can make a foul shot. I don't understand. I just don't get this. Let's look at football. The size of the football field remains the same, doesn't it?
But weren't you in favor of a 4-point field goal just a month ago?
That's a different thing because it's a separate skill, kicking. If you kick it from 60 yards, I'll give you an extra point on that. I'm not putting a 4-point shot on a basketball court.
Shooting is not harder?
Okay, you know what? Let's color code the court. Oh, he's standing in the green. It's worth 9 points.
So you're a traditionalist in basketball, but in football, you're for all kinds of wild.
Did I just give you the example that the football field has stayed the same for a while?
4-point field goal.
And now, boys and girls, it is history time.
Good.
Orioles manager Buck Showalter recently learned that minor leaguer Josh Hart, 19, didn't know who Orioles great Frank Robinson was. So according to the Baltimore Sun, Showalter told Hart to go home and write a 1-page report on Robinson and have it on his desk the next day. Hart reportedly did that happily. Wilbon, you hate all young people who don't know about the past.
I do.
I assume you love this.
I do love this. And not only that, I think that this should be done everywhere. I think in every sport, people should now say to some young, dopey basketball player who thinks that the game was invented, in the 1980s by Jordan and Magic. Son, go at least Google George Mikan. I remember once somebody asked Bill Russell in 1996 at the NBA's 50th anniversary celebration, Mr. Russell, so-and-so about Mr. Meekin. And Russell looked at him and just said, it's Mikan. He was my hero. Because people don't know jack about anything that wasn't on SportsCenter this morning.
Player didn't even know who Lenny Wilkins was.
I know, but
didn't know that he even played. Look, Frank Robinson's a great player. I believe he's the only guy to be MVP in both leagues.
Each league, yeah.
First black managers, great team leader, and all that. Guys like Frank Robinson and Harmon Killebrew and even Stan Musial have been ignored and overlooked because of the home run explosion with McGuire and Sosa and Bonds and the steroids and all of that. And it's good that this kid did the report.
Of course
to be fair, it's not going to make him a better player.
Well, you don't know.
It's not going to get him to the big club.
Appreciation for one's own profession can make you better.
Walter, eat it, old man.
But he didn't.
He could have.
He embraced it.
And we like him for that.
I like that he embraced it. It ought to be done everywhere.
By the way,
every high school coach who ever thought about doing this ought to do it today. Say, you know what? I'm going to cut your playing time. If you don't bring me a report back on
that's fine.
Gordie Howe, whatever you want to say
not for a baseball player.
For a hockey player.
If you have a wall of famous people who played for your organization, then everybody in the organization should be given a tour and a stop at that wall, and it should be explained to them who they are.
Not good enough. Bring me back a written report or go home.
God.
Come on.
God.
Be true to your oldness. Embrace it.
Let's take a break.
God knows you're old enough.
Coming up, Mike Trout gets a raise.
Plus, good cop, bad cop on Kevin Love's season and Tiger's chances this weekend.
They won't even write the report. They'll just paste up that Google
cut and
stuff.
Paste.
That's all they'll do.
Handwritten.
They'll give them
Handwritten.
Wikipedia.
Pardon the Interruption is presented by the new Captain Morgan White Rum. Raise your glass. Always in moderation. Part of Happy Hour. And in part by Alka-Seltzer Plus, severe sinus congestion, allergy, and cough. Always in moderation. Part of Happy Hour. And in part by the bold look of Kohler. Bold will make your reality a dream.
Happy time, people. Happy 34th birthday, Steve Blake. Blake's trading from the Lakers to the Warriors last week put the Mamba in high dudgeon, and you don't want to anger the Mamba. Since playing the point for the University of Maryland's championship team in 2002, Blake has paid the point for the Wizards, Blazers, Bucks, Nuggets, Clippers, Lakers, and Warriors.
Blazers twice, right? I know this. Warriors 3-0 with Blake since that trade.
Happy anniversary, Pete Weber. On this day 2 years ago, you won your record 5th U.S. Open Bowling Championship. And then defiantly stated, who do you think you are? I am. It's sort of like, what's your deal? What's your deal?
That's nice. Wes Malott is my favorite on tour. Second in points on the PBA Tour right now.
Happy trails, Danny Granger. Our friend David Aldridge says the Sixers have reached a buyout agreement with the recently acquired Granger today. And he suggests Granger could reasonably land with the Clippers, Bulls, Heat, Rockets, or Spurs. Wilbon, the Bulls.
There are more serious contenders than the Bulls, but the Bulls need offense desperately. Granger could help fill that. Bulls right at the bottom, Tony, in terms of points scored per game.
Time to find out we messed up. Reality.
St. Joe's got to 27-0 before losing in 04. Memphis 26 before losing in 08. DePaul, one loss, 3 straight years going to the tournament, Wilbon. You were right on that. Indiana back-to-back undefeated going to the tournament. They lost in 75, of course, went undefeated in 76. Pujols won't make $30 million until 2021, Tony, and that's going to be problematic in its own right. And Don Banks, Sports Illustrated, reporting the NFL began exploring Super Bowl 49 relocation options this afternoon.
Of course.
There you go. Big finish.
Did.
Here we go.
Let's
Mike Woodson says Raymond Felton will play tomorrow against Miami. Is that the right call?
I don't know, Tony. Only as we go forward legally can we tell whether it's the right call or not. Ozzie Smith wants baseball's opening day to be a national holiday. You with him?
In 1960, I would have been with him. Not now. Football is sort of zoomed past
over
baseball, don't you think? Jason Collins' number 98 Nets jersey was the top-selling jersey on NBA.com yesterday. Your thoughts?
10-day contract guys have their names and numbers on jerseys distributed.
So.
Collins, good. Jim Boeheim told ESPN Radio he went too far at Duke on Saturday. You surprised he said it?
No, he's looked at the tape. He went too far. Everybody knows he went too far. Stop. No. Last one, the 76ers have lost 11 in a row, and do I hear 12?
They gave up 130 to Milwaukee at home the other night. I have the Magic on good, but yeah, I think we're looking at 12.
We're out of time. We'll try and do better the next time, and I'm Tony Kornheiser.
How long will this go on? I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads. Check out the PTI podcast on iTunes.
The Americans, second season debut tonight. Yeah, shout out. Kornheiser, this is Officer Wilbon. We're here to play a little good cop, bad cop today. Let's get the first case. Mike Trout got a raise to $1 million, $490,000 raise.
I'm going to be the good cop.
There you go.
And you are going to be the bad cop.
Knock yourself out.
This is the largest bump up ever, okay? Largest salary ever given to a pre-arbitration player. He's going up to $1 million. The Angels had no obligation to do this. They gave him a tiny little bump up, like 20 grand last year.
Right.
And Trout, by the way, has said, hey, instead of 400,000 this year, he said, hey, I'm fine with this. I'm happy to be here. This shows they're happy to have me. How can you be bad cop on a guy getting a raise that his employer didn't have to give him? And they're working on the big deal, the $160 million deal.
It's a joke. This guy is going to get at least $25 million a year when he's eligible to get that. He's going to get the highest arbitration number ever recorded. He is the best young player in baseball. He's lockering nearby Albert Pujols, who makes $30 million a year, who can't carry his
But he's going to get there in a minute.
You know how I hate players who say this is an insult?
Yeah.
This is an insult.
You're an insult.
Next.
What's next?
Kevin Love, his season. I'm going to be the good cop on that.
I can't believe I'm going to be the bad cop on Kevin Love's season.
Kevin, the guy's a beast. The last 6 games, he's gone 30 points or more, 10 rebounds or more.
A great season.
The last person to do that is Shaquille O'Neal. He had a triple-double the other day. He missed one by 1 assist. He's 6'10". He's getting near 10 assists a game. His team stinks, but he's carrying the team. They're 4-1 in the last 5. Yeah. They're on pace to have the best record they've had in 6 seasons.
Watched him go on the road and lead his team past Phoenix last night. But, Tony, here's the problem in pro sports. I'd have Kevin Love on any team I had. They're 28-29. They're in 10th place. They're 5.5 games behind Phoenix, even after beating them last night. They're 4 games behind Memphis, which is in 9th place. So Minnesota's in 10th place. Professional sports, as you always say, are about first and foremost reaching the playoffs. Right. They're not going to reach the playoffs, and 500 is going to be his best season.
Next, they play tonight. The Houston Rockets better than the Clippers.
I'm going to be good cop on a team with Dwight Howard?
This pains me enormously because I don't like Dwight Howard, as you know.
I know you don't.
They have the best record in the league since January 1st. Yeah. They're 18-5.
I know.
They got 2 players, Howard and James Harden, who are as good as any 2 players in the league at the moment. Let's compare them to the Clippers. At their best, and Paul and Griffin are really, really good, but at their best, Harden is a significantly better scorer than Chris Paul. And Dwight Howard cannot be defended by just one person. Okay. So I will tell you that right now Houston is slightly better than the Clippers.
Chris Paul's a better passer than anybody on the Houston Rockets squad, Tony. I'm going to just point out 2 stats. The Clippers are number 2 in offense at 107 points a game, which in today's NBA is like today's NFL with passes completed and yards passed for. Number 3, the Clippers are in scoring differential, point differential. So offense minus defense. Differential is a stat I actually believe in. Their starting lineup featured by Chris Paul. Doc Rivers has DeAndre Jordan playing better defense. Clippers.
Next. Tiger winning the Honda Classic. Okay, look, he's got to win sometime. He won 5 tournaments last year. This is in Florida. He does well in Florida, not just at Bay Hill. This is in Palm Beach Gardens. That is the home of who? Jack Nicklaus, very good. The guy that Tiger is chasing. This particular course designed by who? Jack Nicklaus. This particular course, 15, 16, 17, called the Bear Trap in honor of who? Jack Nicklaus. How many more Nicklaus references can I make? Oh, wait, Tiger's chasing Nicklaus. He's 4 behind. Is anybody else? No. And Lindsey Vonn will be there. Boom.
That's very nice.
Yep.
Tiger's not paying attention yet. You know, I think he's not intentionally, but he's gotten off to these fast starts in previous years. This year, he has no start, by the way. He ain't doing anything yet. He doesn't need to. You know, delay it. Start at the Masters, work your way through some major championships. That's fine. 6 out of the last 8 contested at Palm Beach, where you're talking about the Honda Classic, won by international players. Tiger's not even thinking about this tournament yet, Tone. He hasn't even finished in the top 10 on this soil since when?
He's going to
August.
Win it. He's going to win it. That's it. Keep it legal, my people. Time for a break, but on the way, Jim Boeheim discusses his meltdown at Duke.
You got a permit in New York to carry that thing?
I'm registered in New York City, and I have a permit.
A baseball Hall of Famer wants opening day to be a national holiday.
Yeah, that's dicey.
A little late.
Yeah, football sort of preempted that track, didn't it?
A little late.
Yeah, 60 years ago.
I have evidence that proves my dad's a space alien. He speaks a weird language. He drinks green stuff. He said